Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to Mato Anomalies. I think it's pronounced that way, I'm not entirely sure, but it is a turn-based JRPG set in it's like a neo-futuristic version of a bygone oriental city, but it ends up looking kind of like a sci-fi, almost kind of 1920s looking city from what I could tell. I'm not entirely sure, but it's published by Airwiz and Prime Matter, or developed by Airwiz and published by Prime Matter, who are kind enough to reach out and sponsor this, I guess, preview, because I'm just playing the demo. And there's an updated demo out today if you guys want to try this yourselves. The full game is coming out sometime in 2023. I do not know the date on that one. But I guess with all that preamble out of the way, let's just dive right in. It looks very Persona, if you're looking for a base reference point for this. But I could be quite wrong. I like the style for it. Ooh. Oh, that camera is quick. Dang, hi. Like, almost no loading either, like, it was immediate. I thought you said Akon told you to meet him here. So it looks like we're just being dropped right into the action, so I don't exactly have a whole lot of basis for what we're up to. He did. He's not here, guy. Yes, I can see that, thanks. I'm sorry I'm late. I had to take extra precautions to make sure I wasn't being followed. Then you not only wasted your time, you wasted ours. Some stooge hanging around the front door is trying real hard not to see you. What? I'm sorry, who is this? Someone who's hella better at shaking a tail, Obvi. She's looking for Rich as well. Okay, fine. What is it you're looking to know? Did you just not know Sai convinced 2 of your workers to embezzle the union's money? Or did you just not care? That's a gross oversimplification of what actually happened. Spill the deets then, Shifu. I still don't know why Rich set his sights on buying Sunshine Fabrics. But when we turned down his offer, next thing we knew, he'd already gobbled up all of our smaller competitors and immediately started forcing our prices down. Our stocks took the blow. That's when Asai suggested he could invest the union's money in the market to make up the difference. I told him it was a terrible idea. Not only was it unethical, I wasn't willing to put all of our workers' money at risk like that. Never thought he'd take advantage of our boys. So those 2 acted alone, thinking they could bet against the house with the union's own money to save the factory. Pretty stupid. Noble, but stupid. He only confessed it to me just the other day. I was furious, sure, but what's done is done. You should tell the other workers. What difference would it make at this point? They blame me for how it all turned out. After the audit, we were accused of cooking the books, even shut down our machines. These people have nothing left. If I tell them about what those 2 did, it cost them their lives. I can't have that. Martyrs get killed too, you know. It's gonna be you or them. And it's not just them. If I understand all this, Asai would equally be to blame. Which I'd normally say throw him to the lions, but this whole scheme has Rich's dirty fingerprints all over it. You're right. I've known Asai for a long time, and he wouldn't have done this without some form of coercion. Doesn't make him any less responsible for his actions. No, it does not. All this means is we have to get to Asai to find out how Rich got his hooks in him. From there, we can suss out whatever hole that megalomaniacal bastard is hiding in. There we go. I'd hate for things to get any worse for Asai. Where is he? He told me if I ever wanted to get a hold of him that I could go to the garden in the South 2nd District and look for the house with orchids on the door. Give 3 long knocks followed by 2 short ones, and he'll open. Finally, some info we can use. Let's get over there. Wait. What is it? If possible, I'd like to talk to Asai. I can't make any promises. I like the UI for the dialogue. That's a good frame. Actually, just the whole vignetting framework is actually really nice. I just got word from Graham. Said he'll join us at Asai's house come nightfall. Oh, hi. Alright, we're back. Okay, and I cannot go this direction. I guess you're not really supposed to explore much. Whoa. Holy smokes. Okay, so the camera's a little sticky, but I'm pretty sure that's going to get fixed at some point. Hello. Nope. Don't think I'm terribly interested. It looks like there's actually a fairly big city for me to explore. Okay, take the escalator and some other stuff. Oh, we actually do just take the escalator. That's nice. So many games would just have you insta-warp, and I don't like that. Weird. Honestly, cities like this, equal parts, like, seem really cool to me, but also freak me the heck out. Shadow Tailor. Notice the Shadow Tailor. Quiet as always, till someone turned on the lights. Heard you were running a printing business at one point. You still doing that? Don't even mind me. Rich bought out several print factories just before rounding up 20 workshops. Now no one can use the print machines except him. I don't make nothing but ash these days. I'm just a middleman, mind ya. My livelihood depends on brokerage, and that ain't easy to come by. Ain't got nobody to turn to for my problems. Where'd you get the money to take over the store? What money? Sold my home to pay off the debt after my business went under. Only moved here because it was abandoned. Not even the droid cops patrol around this area. Sorry to hear about the money troubles. You got some kind of plan on how to make a living? Your guess is as good as mine. With my luck, the Tooth Fairy will leave me an invoice at this point. Air quality keeps getting worse in the ground lately. I was thinking of heading over that way. Maybe sell some of that living air. But unified government updated all of the ventilation equipment. You know, I took you for someone who kept his eyes more open to how the world really works. The government said they'd take care of the health and security of citizens in the ground, but it didn't mention how much it would cost. Every household is paying for all that electricity needed to run the ventilators, otherwise the machines won't operate. Think folks can afford the bill? But can they afford living air? Those can't be cheap. Those who can't afford the government's ventilation equipment buy their air tanks instead. You're barely living, but at least you're living. How'd you miss that gravy train? Few gas tank explosions set my plans back a ways. That's nothing. I make my money by playing middleman between vendors and buyers. Not that you would call it not what you would call qualified to handle accidents. You being a detective and all, maybe you're better suited to look into this. Maybe. No big commitment. Just check this out. See anything unusual? Looks like the bottom was filed. What about it? It's the gas tank I bought from the vendor. Fortunately, I noticed this. Otherwise, the buyer would have given me a real hard time. And where do I come in with this? I need you to take the gas tank to the Sleeping Beauty bar, find the vendor, and give him a little warning. You could handle this through proper legal channels. What gives? I got my reasons. Think you can handle this assignment or not? Seems simple enough. So are we an official detective, or are we like kind of a noirish freelancey? Oh, hi, hello, this guy. A broken tank, that's why you called me? Doesn't seem suspicious to you? The vendor tampered with the tank, and rather than report him, Clairvoyant wants me to send him a warning. You think Bane Tide got him? Can't rule it out. Interesting. Okay, so we actually have random side quests. I like that. That is not just kill X, it's proper detective stuff-ish. Must be paid by the hour, because you sure as hell drag your feet with getting results. Investigation isn't an exact science, is it? Maybe if you'd offer up a little bit more help and a lot less criticism. All I'm saying is you need to focus your attention on the true task at hand, finding more layers. Also, be sure to tell me if you ever come across someone who seems to be acting strange. The weaker of the Bane Tide still have a certain degree of influence over people, and it sometimes manifests as a noticeable shift in personality. These things are nothing but bad news. The worst, second only to this conversation, you need to pick up the pace. I'm moving as fast as I can get with what I've got. Now I'm gonna switch Graham's voice. He's not like raspy so much as just deadpan. Gotta be faster. The Bane Tide grows stronger every minute we delay in confronting them. Which reminds me, follow me. What? Why? Hey, always with the ignoring me. Making friends now, are we, Graham? Pretty far out of character for you. He's with me. From now on, you show him everything. As you wish. I appreciate your business. What's all this about? Something that can help against the Bane Tide. Who can make that kind of weapon out here? Just because the common people are generally oblivious to the existence of layers doesn't mean the government and big organizations are completely unaware. Some of them have sunk considerable investments into hijacking, controlling, or downright eliminating a Bane Tide's power. Those investments, on rare occasion, result in useful commodities. Just tell them everything, why don't you? Anyway, I'll need your help gathering my gear. I don't ask this lightly. I have difficulty trusting others. We're on the same side here, Graham. If what you need help wipe these things out, I'll take care of it. Now, can I at least take a look at what we're talking about here? By all means. Okay, So, preparation. Graham's decided to delegate the upkeep of maintaining the team's weapons and equipment to Doe. Okay. Talk to the weapon merchant. Wait. Oh. We have a vendor up there. I am actually kind of happy you can just hop on the escalator. And just in general, escalators are cool. Though in this city, I think it would freak me the heck out. Okay. Oh. You the vendor of the air scavenging house? Yeah, but as you can see, I'm off the clock. Notice the drink in front of me? You got any issues, go to the house and take the damn number like everybody else. Relax, friend. I just want you to take a look at this. These yours? Do you know how many gas tanks I sell in one day alone? You really expect me to remember all of them? Hey, what the hell is that? He wasn't done talking to you. Ah. Clairvoyant wanted me to send you a warning. Stop doing this. Look, I wouldn't even do this if I didn't have to. The upstream companies have got acquired by the Lotus Consortium, and the price of gas tanks keeps rising. I'm getting squeezed out here, you know? But I'm going first and make sure the gas tanks break down, then I'm losing out on all of the repair fees. Worst comes to worst, the gas tank explodes, and then it's the insurance company that loses out. That settlement's more than enough for a family to live on. Can't we all agree that this is a win-win situation and move on? With the excuses, we catch you doing this again, you'll only have yourself to blame for ending up in a body bag. Alright, I won't do it again, I promise. I'll be straight as an arrow, no shenanigans, honest. Rarely see you get that mad at anyone. I think he just ran off to change his pants. I can smell the bane tide. There's something wrong with this guy. For real? I just said that you'd come along. I said that so you'd come along. What did you say? How serendipitous. We tracked the guy down, and as a bonus, there's a bane tide involved. What are we waiting for? Fine, I'll let you off this one time. Oh, cool. Okay, so I'm assuming bane tides are kind of evil ghost spirits, whatever. Unfortunately, is there a way I can... Oh, look at this. Oh, that's cool, actually. I like the fact that it's a giant subway map. Though, I'm not entirely sure who everything is. It's going to take a little bit to get used to navigating this game, clearly. But I'm going to say, like, the Persona influence is pretty strong here, but I think it's in a good way. It's not like 100%. It's not like these are teenagers off to save the world or anything. It's a little bit more... Ah, here's the weapon merchant. I was wondering about that. Okay, so I have 990, so I can't really afford much of anything, unless I maybe sell some stuff. Looks like we have blades, polearms, handguns, rifles, stealth, and brawl. But yeah, can't afford anything anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let's see. Okay. Pangolin Vale. Well, here's Graham. Let's talk to him. What's your real deal? Why are you so afraid to make a move against the Bane Tide? I'm not afraid. You must have been tracking down enough of these layers without my help before I showed up, so what gives? Not so easily destroyed. Every time I defeat one, there's a personal cost. How so? It's difficult to describe. They feed off emotions, but that tends to warp one's sense of self over time. They latch on deeply enough before they're killed, it can feel like bits of who you are breaks off and shatters into dust. I'm sorry. I didn't realize. You had no way of knowing. Is there a way of putting yourself back together, like afterwards? I'll let you know when it's done. Till that time, Sky Eye just located a rift. Back to work. Task completion, preparation. Bottle of Slash, Bottle of Crush. Huh. Alright, and we've got Pangolin Vale for this one. Which I'm assuming we're doing a side quest at the moment. Explore the lair? Sure. Pangolin Vale is Graham's home, and the place where you can actively enter lairs. Cool, so we have main lair, and... oh. In random layers, you can discover different kinds of resources, experience, weapons, and gears. Ooh. Okay, danger level 4. I have no frame of reference for what that is. And it doesn't look like I can go into a random layer at the moment. So we're just going to enter Gluttony Mountain and figure out what happens. So there's a little bit more Chinese mythology to this. With what the heck? Okay. Oh gosh, those are creepy. First I thought it was kind of the Matrix, and then I noticed the black holes kind of warping things around it, and then I noticed its hands. The whole thing is hands. Whoa, and money. Vendor from the air scavenging house reeks of Bane Tide. Gotta be more information somewhere in this lair. So, yeah, very Persona, or, oh, I'm thinking like Digimon Hacker's Memory, where you got kind of warped into these just kind of floating, like floating platform labyrinths. with thematic backgrounds. Well, the creatures look suitably freaky. Okay, so what do we have? Oof. Okay, so we have abilities. We have Nerium Melander. 70% pierce damage to the target, and then 70% to another random target, or places a trap that lasts 3 turns. When an enemy attacks, blocks 30% damage, triggers the trap. Trap deals 70% crush damage to all enemy units when triggered. Well, that sounds useful.
Time to take out the trash.
Now, do I only have 2 protagonists? Yeah, it looks like we only have the 2 of these at the moment. So we have attack support potion. So he's got Swift Sword, Double Blade, or Bladeless Blade.
The art of war. I was too careless.
And there goes the trap. Cool. Okay, enemies killed, bingo, gold, things. Okay, increase team level to unlock new skills for team members. Oh, so do we not have, oh. We also have talents, talent points. We have 1, so increase Grem's HP by 3% evasion. And then we also have Yin versus Yang. So attack versus defense and health. Looks like he's already put all points into damage, which kind of makes sense. And I'm gonna invest into Bladeless Blade, seeing as. So what she got? Once again, damage. So Sword Strike does more damage, speed increased, evasion increased, versus multi-target skills deal 10% more damage, or heals 10% more HP. I'm just gonna focus kind of on their AoEs. So it looks like we have 2 fighting party members, Butterfly and Graham. Gear, weapons. So it looks like he uses swords and spears. She uses darts and claws. I'm actually gonna have to turn down the voice acting because the game itself is not actually voice acted. Can I get the menu? Yeah. As usual, it is not a Wander video without me messing with my sound settings a little bit. The voice acting seems fine, but if it's not a fully voice acted game, I'm not actually sure how much I care about voice acting at all. We have some information. We only provide the suggested price for living air. As for the other expenses, such as maintenance costs, those can be revised as they pertain to each specific situation. I like the detective aspect of this. Just in terms of, like, character lore and storytelling, I guess. I've voluntarily purchased the living air from Party A. I waive my right for holding Party A responsible for any possible explosion, leakage, or other accidents that may result in the use of living air. Signed, personal seal, fingerprint, and date. Personal seal. I mean, I guess it may make more sense in a Chinese-themed city.
Guys? What a waste of time.
Bingo and pachinko. They're all gambling related. It also looks like we have 1 health bar for the entire team. Oh, that's interesting. Other point of note, so we have shared team HP, but also cooldowns are shared across all fights. 140% pierce damage to the target. If the target's in special modes, defending, charging, transforming, interrupts the target and does extra damage. Interesting. I don't think either of them... Oh. She actually just hit both of them. Sick. Weak pops up when your attack is effective against your enemy. Beware that some enemies are resilient towards certain types of attack. So this panel shows the enemy's resistance to crush, pierce, slash, and special damage, and resistance to a normal status. So I guess I'm just gonna kind of hit it.
Mondo Shaman, heed my call.
Yeah, the voice acting is not bad. I kind of hope the whole game gets full voice acting, but I'm not betting on it. That stuff is expensive. Hello. Who are you? Trigger the device. Okay, we get some money. So did that get rid of one of the 2 gates? I'm just going to assume it did. Now, oop. Oh. What are these? Gears? I just pressed right trigger and it opened up a new menu. Huh. Oh. We can also... Can I actually get back to the prologue? I don't want to, but it looks like you can actually quickly go forward and back in the story, potentially. Is there a way I can save the game? Not currently. If there was a way for me to save, I'd maybe try and take a peek at it, just to see if I could get a summary of, like, what's happened so far, but I also recognize that that might not be kosher. Okay, so they resist, so let's hit the bingos. Perfect.
If one strike is not enough, then I'll give you two. Show me your work, Tonatrus.
Okay. Anything else? Nope. Are those... Oh, it's a stock ticker, of course. I was trying to figure out if that was, like, related to gameplay somehow. I'm like, oh yeah, of course not. That'd be a really cool secret. But... Or, not secret thing, but like a weird background detail. Probably not for this game. I don't think it would fit particularly well. But the idea of, like, having a stock ticker that actually updates in real time in the game that actually affects the prices of, like, potions and stuff. I'm unable to support my family with what I'm earning selling tanks. You want me to figure it out on my own? I'm no coward, but this? I see. Thank you for your direction, sir. I'll see what I can do. Greed, the source of most evil. Maybe not all evil, but gosh darn, it's a lot of evil. Feeling like the target's nearby. Detected. Unique reaction. Don't come to me. No one did nothing. Tank was broken when I brought it back. Explosion, not my fault. Don't come near me. Huh. Oh, this thing looks eerie. Kino.
Eliminated.
So this is probably the bad boy. Hit the bingo.
If one strike is not enough, then I'll give you two.
I swear I've heard that voice actor before. I probably have.
My trap should be more than enough.
Okay, so we do have butterfly dance, but I think I might do the heal. I actually really like the fact that we have what is deadly boost? For 3 turns to self at the cost of 10% HP.
A necessary sacrifice.
Might as well.
Is it playtime now?
Okay, and it's got more bingos.
Bullseye.
Oh, boss is weak
Time to
to
take out the
shurikens.
trash.
I could do a bladeless blade. Do I wanna? Or no, I'm just gonna
Show me
do
your
a.
work, Tonatrus.
I'm just gonna do a double slash. It's not that strong.
It's my turn.
Okay. Now, do we want to do a sword strike?
This'll
It
be
seems to
fun to
take
watch.
extra damage from it, so yes.
Time to take out the trash. The art
There we
of
go.
war.
I don't actually know if I've slashed a bingo yet. Well, it's dead anyway. And we level up. Enemies killed. We get a drop of water. I'm sure it's actually useful, but the idea of just getting a singular drop of water from a from a boss is weirdly insulting. All suffer from their own actions. Looks like you got what you deserve. Is that it? I guess we killed the greed demon. Cool. Let's see. It looks like we can get back to this character. Dog. Yes, you can in fact pet the dog. That dog is never mind, that dog is appropriate for this environment. It's settled. The vendor promised to run business without any dirty tricks going forward. Great, here's a little something for you. You believe that vendor will stay honest? Probably not. A leopard can't change its spots. Those living in the ground would thank whatever god they believe in just for being alive. You throw money into the equation and suddenly that innate human greed rears its ugly head. Why ask me to warn him at all? Now that he's been warned, what he does is completely up to him. I'm good with that. But what's in it for you? Didn't I tell you I've been in a bad way? Take a look at this guy and say that to me again. Huh? Damn, fair point. For someone who dresses like a gentleman, you sure do play rough. I didn't. It's nothing. I saw the vendor was having money problems, so I took out a few insurance claims. And you're the beneficiary. Of course, insured him with my own money after all. I asked you to warn him because I was afraid the insurance company would prove difficult. Sounds like you're quite familiar with how insurance companies operate. Got a long history with this kind of hustle? Is that the time? I still got a few tanks to deliver. Take care of you two. You got something on your mind? Nothing about this world. And we got 10 feet. Looks like a spear. So I took a bit of a pause to take a look at this. And now I'm trying to figure out what this machine is. It almost looks like ticker tape or like a polygraph thing. But it's got like weird spider arms that are pumping up and down, but only for part of it. I'm just trying to figure out what this readout's supposed to be. Because, actually no, well, because it almost also looks like a telegram machine? I don't know. Somebody knows what this is, please tell me. Okay, I don't want to get peed on by the dog again. Okay, so we got the garden. We also have South 2nd Road. Let's go over here, because I apparently have a second trade with the merchant love meal. Love meal? Oh, tired of battles, try the auto battle feature. Oh, that's cool. What's up? Congratulations. As your 9th customer, we've prepared a lucky challenge for you. You'll receive a surprise reward if you win. Didn't expect a big enterprise like Trinity Pharmacy still needed to do this kind of marketing. You only get one chance. What are you waiting for? What kind of reward are we talking about here? Better than you could ever imagine. It's got oversell written all over it. How could it work if I were interested? How would it work if I were interested? Ugh. As long as a passerby enters the store, you'll receive 3 points. Collect 9 points, and you'll receive your reward. I only need to bring in 3 people. That's it, the magic number. Oh, might as well give it a try. Huh. Okay, so these do damage. Oh, that's weird. You just chuck... Oh, I see. Drop of water. Restores team HP. Tastes sour. That's concerning. Okay. What else do we have here? Droid Cobb. Trade with the merchant. Doe is stopped by a strange medicine dealer on the street and told the Trinity Pharmacy is opened up on South 2nd Road in order to get the mysterious reward promised by the dealer. Doe promoted the agents, or the pharmacy. There we go. Droid Cobb. Kinda. You got any work for me, Tank? Identification confirmed. Displaying Civil Quest register. People don't trust droid cops anymore. They can't even stop a purse snatching in broad daylight. That's what keeps the detective industry booming. Of course, the government made sure that all of our commissions have to go through their own channels. Couldn't they use those resources to make the streets safer? Apparently, they aren't as virtuous as Butterfly Ferry. Let's see what you got here. Lost cat, black market purchasing agent, nothing new. Here's one. Special missing personnel case. Tell me about it, Tank. Citizen named Yvonne Dong. Sorry. Reported missing in the Cube Nectar mine. Investigation phase closed. Result inconclusive. Additional note from investigation. There's a rumor that the mine is haunted. Haunted? Interesting. Come on, this one seems like it's worth checking out. You don't believe in ghosts? Don't know what I believe till I've checked it out myself. Plus, Banetide have got to be scarier than anything else out there. What if it is a Banetide? Well then, crap. You gonna call him or should I? Fine, we'll bring Graham along too. That guy ain't afraid of nothing. Okay, you can sell unwanted items to the traveling merchant. Okay. And then we have the thing about the mine. Here's the question, is it in the area? No, so... I guess we go here? Trade with the merchant. Because we're in South 2nd Road. I'm just gonna kind of wander around for a little bit, actually. I mean, the whole area is kind of cool looking. I'm not entirely sure... Oh, no, can't go this direction anyway. So, love meal, find the client. Or is that here? Love meal. Oh, Yvonne Dong. Detective, I'm begging you, sir, please find my husband for me. I'll do my best. I just need some info from you if I can. My husband's name is Jamie Fu. He used to work in the mine located in the North 1st District. Someone asked him to trade shifts, but he never came back. His coworker said he had just disappeared. This is all he had left. Chopsticks, they look unique. His finger was cut off in an accident with with one of the machines. Eating has become very difficult, so I made this pair of chopsticks for him. It's the only reason why they knew it was Jamie. The workers are only allowed to have their lunch breaks down in that mine. It's such a horrible situation. Give them to me. Think you can use them to find his ghost? Or this ghost? There's no place to hide in this narrow tunnel. Could only be Baden Tide. If we find that man inside, wouldn't he? Let's cross that bridge when we get to it. Oh, detective sir. I just cooked this and it's still warm. If you find my Jamie, please ask him to eat it. Yes, ma'am. Got it. It's Bane Tide, all right. Fresh, too. Of course it's fresh. The coworker reported it as soon as Jamie went missing. This place really is haunted. Better watch your step. Wouldn't want to disturb the spirits. Ow. Only thing disturbing right now is you. Enough. Time to move. Oh, right. And we just warped back to his house again. He's got a weird house, man. Alright, love meal. Danger level. Oh. I've been playing on my Switch lately, so the Y button is in the wrong spot. I was kind of hoping we get to go into a mine. Hopefully they change the backgrounds around a little bit to match the setting a little bit more. Okay. Well, fights.
Let's be quick.
I'm trying to understand why these are pachinko, but I think part of it is... Wait, no, I know what pachinko is. I don't know why these are pachinko. Okay, so these resist. But we can do a butterfly dance.
Time to take out the trash.
Now he's the one... Ooh. Maybe not.
I'll take care of this.
That was a weird animation. Okay, and they don't... At least they don't resist... crush damage.
Bullseye.
Music is good for the battles. Unfortunately, the battles don't last long enough to like really make the most of it, but still. I'm glad this has a mini-mapping system. Not that it really matters too much, but it's always one of those where it's kind of nice to know, like, hey, that's where the treasure chest is, so I don't have to worry about...
Time to take out the trash. Mondo
going
Shaw,
back and like...
Heed my call.
I'm gonna have to turn off the voice acting. I cannot compensate over combat if the characters are going to be saying things. Nothing wrong with it. It's just so hard to talk. Anyway, I don't know. Just finding stuff on mini-maps makes it so much easier to like go back and be like, okay, cool. Now I have for sure seen everything in this area, so I don't have to worry about like possibly missing an item or anything in that general vein. There we go. Yeah, what have I been playing? Oh, I guess I was playing like OG Phantasy Star kind of recently. Well, not quite OG because it was actually the like modern rendition that rebalanced it so it wasn't nearly as frustrating. Actually, do we want to just do a bladeless blade? Yeah, there we go. Oh, it's so much easier to commentate over it. Voices are good, just personal issues. But so that actually like added a mapping system that was not, I don't think was present in the original game. And that's genuinely true of like a lot of old school, old style JRPGs. And on one hand, it's like the mapping system certainly means I'm looking at it a little bit more than I am possibly even like running around the environment, but it means I miss less and that stresses me out less. It's a weird trade-off, but it's one of those where it's kind of like you lose a little bit of the character, but you gain so much in quality of life that it's hard to complain. Do you want to just... Yeah, because if I can hit both of them, they just go down. Yeah, battles feel so much better now. We missed, though. Well, that's rude. I love that animation. The fact that they're animating it with, like, the 3 legs actually works shockingly well. Like, the animation team is doing a good job with it. I don't know. Run cycles are hard. And being able to do a weird 3-legged run cycle without it looking bizarre. Any more bizarre than it already does. No, that ain't it. Hey, I see a guy in overalls up ahead. Is that the miner we're looking for? What's up with his pants? We need to hurry. He's already heading into the light. Okay, we're not terribly injured. Okay. Same deal. Guess it doesn't really matter who we hit here. Looks like it's just the same boost. Hopefully we'll get a greater variety of enemies going forward. Just because I think we've only seen 3? I think we've only seen 3 so far. And it certainly has that, like, whole theater of mind vibe to it. Do we actually want to do a heal wounds? Yeah. Like, I don't want to call... There's got to be a name for this. And unfortunately, I'm coming up with a bit of a blank. The idea of, like, a JRPG story, the setting where it's like modern fantasy, but so many of the fights are handled within a kind of like metaphysical plane as opposed to like real worlds. And there's got to be a better like way of describing it. He's down. Help me, but don't come too close. Nirvana index is low. Did he faint before coming in? Detected. Target shows no emotional color. Threat equals none. He hasn't been here for long. Should consider himself lucky. Sky Eye. Delete memory and shut off vision. We have to bring him out later. Subject. Dot retrieval equals success. Glad he's still alive. What do you make of all this, Deadface? He doesn't seem like the type who'd provoke the Bane Tide, does he? Haven't studied them all. Seems fishy, but we should tell Doe. You know, learn and upgrade ultimate skills and talents. Energy increases in battles and you can use ultimates when you have enough energy. Cool. Okay, well, evil must be eliminated. That's the only one I got, at least for now. Let's see, we do have talent points for each of the characters. Not that I'm really going to invest into too much. I'm just going to keep working probably on... Oops. Each of these characters' AoEs. Multi-target skills do more damage? Heck yeah. Wait. Maybe we leveled up twice. Let's see. Do we have another? No, but we do on her. Interesting. I must have spent one more on him. Or... it's because we didn't buy her ultimate. Oops. Well, next level. Not the end of the world. And does this just get us out of here? Actually, it looks like this one's broken. Well, that's fine. I mean, it's a demo. It's kind of one of those where it's a little hard for me to specifically be grumpy about things being incomplete. The fact that, like, this demo feels fairly fully featured at this point feels decent. I don't know. It's hard to pass judgment when I know things are going to change. It's a little bit more different when a game is actually available for purchase and it's just like, you know, hey. Oh. Can I just leave? Nope. Uh-oh. Okay, so I've just reloaded before I went into that specific dungeon. It's not that important. We're just going to go here instead and do a little bit of the main story before I end this video off. The air here is so toxic. How can anyone live in a place where you have to breathe this in all the time? By barely surviving. Heard they even have to use a tank of something called living air to even do that much. Rich snatched up the air purification companies and somehow convinced the unified government to patent and commercialize the life-saving stuff. The more we find out about the extent of Rich's control, the harder it is for me to believe that there isn't a larger evil force at play in all of this. The Bane Tide feeds on Rich's inherent greed, and is in some ways amplifying it. Which is to say the Bane Tide might not have emerged if Rich wasn't as avaricious by nature. There we go. Surprise, surprise. Look who finally had something to add to the conversation when it has anything to do with the Bane Tide. Last time you got us an address from one of your sources, we ended up in a trap. How sure are you about this one? Sure enough, do you see any houses with orchids on the door? You look familiar. Have I seen you before? I'm sorry? You don't remember me? Can't see I do. I'm sure it was you who came by yesterday. Not me, friend. Sorry. Very well. See you next time, Go-Go. Strange. What's so strange about one more weirdo? His scent. Hey, enough already. We don't have time for other people's problems. Right. Now, where could someone plant orchids in such a climate? Over there. It's the orchids from where the weirdo came. On it. What happened? Why aren't you going in after him? What's wrong? Wait up, guy! What's going on? No one's home, but Graham picked up the scent of a Banetide. Turns out there is a lair here, and Otsai ran right into it. What's he doing? That's suicide. Most probably, yeah. Anyway, me and Graham are gonna prep up at Pangolin Vale and hightail it to their lair so we can take care of this business. Watch out for each other in there. Alright, so final area looks a little bit different. Not too much. I do hope they vary the backgrounds thematically based on where we are. Ah! Stay back! Finally. Hold up, are you sure about this? I'm sure the Banetide needs to be stopped, whatever the cost. It's interesting that Doe doesn't come in here. I wonder if there's going to be a plot explanation for why. Enable auto battle. Sure. I love auto battle systems. I realize that a lot of people actually, you know, like playing JRPGs, but for like turn-based RPGs, especially against basic trash mobs, I kind of don't care that much. If that makes sense. I don't know how intelligent the auto battle is. It seems to just kind of use whatever move is available. Maybe? Maybe not. I guess maybe I tend to be stingier than an auto battle is. As long as it's not using any items, though, I don't really care too much. But yeah, I've been, like I said, I've been going back and playing some, I guess, modernized versions of old JRPGs. And a couple of them have auto battle modes, and it's really nice. The road's blocked. That's not a dead end. There must be something like a switch to remove the barrier. Like a puzzle? This'll be child's play. Oh, was that Graham? I don't know. I have trouble identifying who's talking. Oh, I see. I've turned on the crusher traps. Are they coins? Oof. Okay. So this one goes. And they both go. Okay. I don't care too much about the timing if I can just kind of push through. I got him. You two, I didn't expect you to make it this far. Get over here, you're coming back with us. Ah, I don't think so. I wonder if they're planning on having, like, deeper cutscenes for this. Mutated monsters in the lair grant more rewards when defeated. Cool. I like variants. Let's see. Well, can't do too much. Okay. You know what? I'll kill it anyway. Oh, and it does AoE damage. And heals us. Well, that's nice. I was assuming that it was going to be a tough sucker, but nope. Not a problem in the slightest. Okay. All of this for a treasure chest up here? Looks like it. Works for me. But yeah, going back to like old JRPGs and stuff, the idea of having like an auto battle, especially for trash mobs that aren't that threatening, like sure it might not be as efficient, but the amount of time saved is just unbelievably nice. When I was younger, I didn't mind going through every single fight, but like nowadays it's kind of just like, I don't know, I fought these slimes like a dozen times before, let's just motor through them and not think about it. And it generally feels better that way. I don't know, maybe not everybody agrees with me, but it's kind of neat to see where it goes. I hope at some point the trend kind of pushes towards being able to like control. So like, hey, these enemies are weak to this, prioritize weaknesses. But also, before that, if anybody's hurt and the healing spell's off cooldown, use the healing spell first and foremost. And then if you do get a big hit... I didn't know there was another penny here. You know, if you do get hit large, or if the enemy's a little tougher, you know, just a little bit of... I'd almost call it programming, I guess. Stuff like that I think could actually be a really neat way of handling it. So, allies, enemies, active effects, move, confirm. I mean, I guess I might as well do a butterfly dance. I don't know if he has his AoE. He does! Does that kill all of them? No. It moves so weird. Okay, now's a good time for heal wounds. I think we can just hit it. There we go. What giant city is this based on? I know there was a city in... Was it Kowloon? Like Kowloon Walled City, or am I wildly misremembering this? I know there was a city in China that, like, actively was, like, stunningly packed. It was, like, dozens of stories tall and jammed in so close, and it had kind of its own kind of government and law structure and a bunch of other stuff like that, because it was virtually... I don't know if the word, like, virtually ungovernable is the right way of describing it, but it was so densely packed and so densely populated that it just didn't, like, you couldn't run a city in the way like you would like a normal society. Maybe I'm super paraphrasing this whole thing, but if I remember it, I mean, I know it existed. That's a given. But I wonder if that was the primary influence for what this is. Or, I mean, it could be, you know, some of the more densely packed cities just kind of in the world at the moment, because there are quite a number. Some more so than others. I was in LA right before the pandemic, and it was interesting how not dense that city is. Like, you kind of expect it to be much more, like, tightly squished together, but the real answer mostly boils down to the reason why it's not densely packed is because, you know, the housing developments weren't allowed to ever stack up. So it's one of the most highly populated cities, at least in the US. I think it is the most highly populated cities, but it's like, its actual population density is far less. Because almost the whole place is just kind of this, like, weird, tightly packed suburban sprawl instead. Because you can't really have much for apartment complexes in LA. And, like, I don't necessarily want to say that a city like this one, where it's, like, so hyper-packed together that it's almost, like, unreasonable. You know, I can't necessarily tell you if that is the, is, like, a better option. It probably isn't. But does he actually know who to aim for? Yeah. Hey, he really knew who to aim for. Oh, wait, no. Oh, wait, no, it did die. Sick. Saves me the trouble. Okay, so I almost wonder if the reason why I couldn't leave earlier was because we need to buy her ultimate as well. I'm not entirely sure. He still has a talent point. Okay, cool. What else do we have? I don't know what this is. Nor this. This looks like healing. We don't care too much about that, considering I've been healing fairly actively. Save your progress. Oh, it's a save point. Cool. I didn't know those actually were a thing in this game. I tried saving earlier, but it wouldn't let me do so. It looks like it's been auto-saving fine. Let's see. Double slash. There it is. It auto-saves fine. I was just not sure if it would actually save the game traditionally from the, or at all, since I'm still playing a demo. But at least they have auto-saving, so, you know, when I get trapped in the void effectively, it won't stop me. Yeah, let's kill the Pachinko. No sense letting it live just so I can hit it with an AoE in the next round. I mean, I guess it's not that dangerous. Do we want to do this? Yeah. Oh, I guess that was overkill. Oh well, doesn't matter. Oh, cool, you can also skip animations. Well, that's neat, as kind of an alternate way. So, if it's just basic animations you don't want to see, you can skip past those. I wonder how fast you can actually... I know there's a battle speed thing that you can switch up to. Finally, can't spell justice without us. And there ain't no hiding from... ain't no hiding from us either. Ah, not possible. How? You mean to say you beat all those creatures? What sort of monsters must you be? The kind that puts a monster-sized hole in your plan there, guy. Oh. I guess we got it. They must have skipped the follow-up cutscene. Or, nope, there it is. Your hands are strong, girl. What kind of drugs are you taking? Let go or I'll send you my hospital bill. Stop struggling and answer the questions. ASI. You! How are you still alive? Because I didn't go to that Feng Shui temple. You're welcome. Wait, you guys went to that place I told you about and didn't get eaten? Get eaten? Alright, spill it. What do you know? I know nothing. Don't ask me. How could you say such a thing? Stop denying you set us up. I did nothing. I just said a few words. If you think I'm guilty, you can call the cops and arrest me. If not, then let me go. Oh, you're really asking for it. Where's my blade? I'm gonna cut you up real good. Who gave you the orders? Just rolled off my tongue. I don't know anything. You have no right to keep me here. Seems getting the truth out of you won't be easy. This is probably normally voice acted, but whoops. I'm really gonna try that. Asai, you'll tell me everything you know. Everything. Oh, what? Deck, card bank, Way of Fate. What? To make the most of the Way of Fate deck, you need to plan your strategy and keep the right cards. Fate. Cool. Fate and Mark. Oh. Oh, card back selection. I'm confused. I guess we're doing Way of Fate. Okay, what are we doing? Turn 1, doze action. Intention. Wait. Did this just become a deck builder roguelike? Sort of? Okay, get 5 defense. Fate 2, get ×2 comeback. Fate, the number X card played this turn will trigger an additional effect. Looks like I've got 3 energy. Get X stacks of comeback. When being persuaded, deal damage equal to the number of stacks to the persuader. Alright, so let's do refute. Hit that, but it didn't seem to do any damage. Okay, and it looks like that didn't work out. Okay. Oh. So weakness, persuasion power +2 against demons. Fate 3. That's my cards. Oh, I see. I see, that's how fate works. Okay, I'm understanding this a little bit better. Obviously, we're getting smacked around a little bit, but it's fine. Okay, so Fate 1. Okay. I don't think I got any defensive cards there. I'm not sure why I keep... Do I keep burning cards? I might. We have Breakthrough, Defend, Fate 2, gain ×2, comeback. It did burn another card. I'm not quite sure. So it could also hit him. Oh, randomly discard a non-persuasion card. And not enough action points. Choose that card to keep. Okay. I'm getting this. It's a little weird, and we're not doing that great. Okay. And he's hitting for 11. Keep that. Unfortunately, I might have to retry this one. I don't necessarily know if I can. What's this one do? When dealing damage to the host, restores the same amount... Oh. Yeah, unfortunately my cards are kind of trash. I might be able to take him out on the next turn. I think I'm gonna have to. Well, let's see what we got. Yeah. So I think if we do this one again, it won't be a problem, but I just got knocked out. Okay, so let's try starting this over. We also have Debater. I'm gonna try Debater instead. Let's see what her deck has. So Doe's action. So blue cards get wiped. So randomly discard a non-persuasion card from Doe after Doe uses a card. So these are all persuasion cards. Two defense, persuasion power 2 for the next persuasion card this turn. I dig it. Okay. Yeah, I gotta take that out. And then can't get the other one, but I'm gonna hold on to long speech. Okay, 5 defense. So I could do 12 damage. Or I could do... Oh. That's a non-factor. Yeah, unfortunately the demons come back, which are a little rough. Because I should aim for him, and maybe I just need to do that rather than take these things out. Unfortunately, he heals 10 every single time. Persuade 3 times, each time dealing extra damage, add 1 mark to the host. Only available if taking no damage in the previous turn, will not be triggered. Yeah, I can't do it. I don't quite know what Mark does on the host. Can I mouse over it to see? Take damage equal to the number of stacks of Mark when the turn ends. Stacks will be halved afterwards. Okay, we've done 15 to him. So, I think at this point we just aim all in. Okay. 2 dodge. Card's action cost -1 for each persuasion card previously played this turn. Okay. And then we do a breakthrough, which should get through to him. That's a little harder than I thought it would be. But I like it? Rich told me what to say. He ordered me to lead anyone who is interested in the Lotus Consortium there. What happened to the other people you've sent there? I didn't even want to know. You assured them a death sentence. So what? People die. Everybody dies. Now my number's up. Anyone who goes against these guys gets wiped out. You coward. You don't think I know that? I used to dream of taking the fight to these tyrannical bastards. Now here I am, just another waste of air that amounted to nothing in the end. You ever hear of Zorro Hands? No? Sure, that group of shell pickers who went after the corporations. That's them. What about them? They're me. I was Zorro Hands. Not so formidable when you're the sole member of a group. What are you talking about? See this? This is the dart of the Butterfly Fairy. Only leader of the Zorro Hands is permitted to carry it. If a corporation's door was hit by a butterfly dart back in the day, it meant the boss would be targeted by the Butterfly Fairy. The Butterfly Fairy made it possible for workers to live decent lives. The original leader was inspired by the deeds of the Butterfly Fairy, thus the Zorro Hands were born. What was it you said about the about autographs? Shut up and show a little decency. Ah, so Butterfly used to be that character. We as the Zorro Hands made up for our weak numbers with strategy and took economic measures to pose a threat to those profit-hungry capitalists. What happened to the other members of your little club? Lotus. The last door this dart appeared on was Rich's. The Butterfly Fairy was targeting him, but she has long since disappeared. Or worse, deserted us. We vowed to bring the fight to Rich, determined to take revenge, but... yeah, that probably didn't go well. We tried to hit him in the bank, but he anticipated every move we'd make. His shares only ever went up. Rich finally tracked our members down, and when we were at our most desperate, he offered us 2 options. Obey or die. More or less, yeah. So you just gave up? Hard to find the will to fight when everyone important to you gets picked off one by one. The Butterfly Fairy disappeared, the Zorro Hands were shattered. It was just me on my own. There was still you. What has Rich made you do since you switched sides? He knows that his business expands most adequately through acquisitions, but those sometimes don't run so smoothly. He had me pry into his competitors' businesses, bribed their employees to defect. Essentially, he turned my expertise as a saboteur against his interests into just another puppet who enforced them. Broke what was left of my heart to do it. What heart, you mindless stooge? You betrayed the very core of what I pledged to fight against. Wait, don't. That's the butterfly dart, but how did you come by it? I never asked to become some cheap dashboard idol for someone like you to worship. That's not possible. The Butterfly Fairy's been missing for years. But come back now. I've only been missing because cowards like you gave up the fight at the first sign of real resistance. Did you think Rich was just gonna roll over when you came after him? You weren't here. You didn't see what he did to my friends. All I'm hearing is excuses. It doesn't matter what you or I believe, or even stand for at this point. Rich's power has grown too great for us to be stopped by now. My fight isn't over yet, guy. Then when your victory pose will be standing over the ashes of what might have been, where were you when the workers were starving and freezing? Where were you when Rich stole the very livelihoods from them? Their very livelihoods from them? Face it, the Butterfly Fairy and Zorro Hands, whatever they were supposed to be, are just myths we tell ourselves. There's nothing left. You learned nothing. It was never just about fighting the leaders. It was to show the workers that they were worth fighting for. You're fighting for a memory, and mine tends to be hazy on a good day. I like these little illustrated cutscenes. They're nice. You didn't stop him? I get that you have some honor code you're trying to live by and all, but even then you must see that the guy's hurting for what he did and didn't do. The hell with you, guy. I'm sick of waiting for you to collect answers piece by piece. I'll take Rich on myself if I have to. Just like I'd originally planned to do. Whoa, hold up. Alright. There's apparently more to this than I thought. Like, a fair bit more for a demo, which is kind of neat. I know that the publicly available demo is going to be a little shorter than this one. It probably ends around here, but I could be quite wrong. I don't really know. And we could continue on with this, but I think this is a pretty good taste of what Mato Anomalies is going to be. One part kind of theater of mind style JRPG, one part kind of dystopic future, and one part dramatic detective JRPG, which I think is a cool combination, and I'm interested to see where it goes. Can you pet the cat? No. You can just walk through the cat like it's not even there. Yeah, cats are liquid anyway. So, with all of that said, if you guys want to try Mato Anomalies yourselves, it's available on Steam in demo format now, and will be available sometime in 2023 if you guys want to pick it up yourselves. On one hand, it's kind of weird to have these giant holographic people. On the other hand, I'd rather this than billboards. Like, actually, there's like almost no billboards here. Just a couple of neon signs, which I like. I got hiccups. Anyway, so, with all of this said, one last thank you to Airwiz and Prime Matter for sponsoring this video. It was very kind of them. It was kind of neat to check this game out. It's been on my wish list ever since the last Next Fest, but I didn't get to it. But now I got the chance. So, if you guys like this video in any way, shape, or form, leave me a like, helps more than you know. And if you want to see more rad new indie games and AA games, I don't even know what this qualifies as. It's kind of indie-ish. Then hit subscribe because I got tons of them to check out. But for now, I guess, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Lost my train of thought for a bit because I just keep thinking about giant holographic people. That could actually backfire if we started doing that too much. Or it could be really cool.